Hey guys, this is Metro. Some of you guys might know me for my soldier gameplay. I stream on Twitch, and I'm mostly known for my soldier. I've been hitting rank 1 over buff consistently over the last like 5 to 6 seasons. And a lot of people come into my stream and they ask me like, is soldier still viable? How do I make soldier work? I can't seem to climb with him. I have good aim, but I can't seem to climb. My teammates hold me down, yada yada. I looked over some tutorials on YouTube and I realized that a lot of like YouTube tutorials go into very specific details and like some small tips and tricks, but most of the YouTube videos don't cover the basics or what makes soldier strong. And hopefully some people can pick stuff up and make soldier work in season 10. So let's go over the basics of what makes soldier a strong character or what makes soldier a weak character in some cases. Soldier is a hit scan hero. Hit scan basically means as soon as you push a mouse button, you're gonna do the damage if your crosshair is on their head or on their body. A soldier compared to McCree has a very low damage falloff on long distance, which means if you're on a long range against your opponent, you're gonna do like almost as much damage as if you're close range. Whereas on a McCree, for example, the farther you're away, the less damage you're gonna do. So on very long distance, it's gonna take more bullets for you to do the same amount of damage. For example, on that distance, I needed like 4 headshots to kill a bot. Whereas if you're close distance, it takes 2 or like close to 1 shot to kill a bot or like a 200 HP target. A lot of people are coming to my chat and they're saying, you know, I have very good aim, dude. I aim like almost as good as this or that person, but I can't seem to climb. And what people don't seem to realize is that while yes, mechanical skill is really important, it's about a lot more in-game decisions. And you could go up against a soldier who has like really poor aim or like average aim, but really good game sense and really good positioning. And he's gonna do way better than a soldier who has the best aim in the world, but has really poor positioning or really poor decision making. And Overwatch is a game where like decision making takes a lot more weight compared to mechanical skill. Anyways, there's 2 components to aiming with soldier. The tracking, which is all muscle memory. So the longer you're gonna play the character, the more comfortable you're gonna be with tracking. It's gonna come naturally to you. You're gonna like notice movement patterns of every specific hero you're gonna go up against, and tracking is gonna come naturally. It's not gonna be like, you're not gonna think about how the opponent Genji is gonna move or how the opponent Mercy is gonna move in order to track them down. It's all gonna come naturally. What's more important, in my opinion, is the accuracy where you lock onto the character for the first time. So for example, you peek around the corner and you see Genji, right? Let's assume this spot is a Genji. The first time you peek around the corner, you see the Genji. What is really important here is the first shot accuracy. The tracking is gonna come naturally. Remember, it's muscle memory, so the more you practice, the easier it's gonna be for you to track. But if you peek around the corner and let's say you see him and you peek, and your muscle memory is a bit off, right? You try to lock your crosshair on their head or on their body, and your first shot is a bit off, right? So let's say you peek around the corner and you see him, and your first shot is gonna be a bit like less accurate. You're gonna miss a whole bunch of shots. Because your tracking pattern is gonna be the same, but your mind is not gonna, or your unconscious like muscle memory is not gonna like make up for the distance you're still missing to the head. So having a really good accuracy in the first place is really, really important for soldier. Because everything that comes after the first shot is gonna be automatic and muscle memory. So as soon as you lock on to your character in the first place, everything else is gonna come naturally. So yeah, for the basic mechanics, try to get your first shot accuracy down. And the way you can do this, the way you can practice if you don't want to go into comp right away, is you can just play against bots on the practice range, or what I like to do, you create a custom lobby against like real bots, Lucios, Annas, and just do burst fires. So you want to like move your crosshair to a random place on the screen and then just go for the 1 or 2 tab and see if you hit like most of your targets. So that's what you can do to like get your accuracy up. And once you feel comfortable against bots, you should really go practice in competitive play. I'm always saying that competitive play is probably like, while it's not perfect, it's still the best way for you to improve your overall gameplay and your overall game sense. And you really shouldn't pay too much attention to mechanical skill, even though it might seem like the most important aspect. Whenever people ask me or ask anyone like, why don't you go high ground in this place? Or why don't you go high ground in this place? Isn't high ground like the win-all strategy for soldier? The reason why Soldier is so good on high ground is he's a character that is really good if you don't contest him. A Soldier on long range, uncontested, can do insane amounts of damage against like almost anything. The way Soldier excels is really being uncontested, or always being on the move and never being predictable as to where you are and where you deal your damage from. So having high ground is important, yes, but what's even more important is you always want to be where your opponent isn't, and you always want to be able to do damage while your opponent is not able to do damage to you. A lot of people that play Soldier just like to go in, like to stand behind the Rhine shield and then shoot their Rhine shield, you know, or shoot their monkey bubble, and then they ask me, yo, I don't do enough damage, dude, like I don't get my visors fast enough, I don't get enough pickoffs, and that's all positioning. Instead of being safe with your team, you can sometimes take the risky approach, go for flanks, and punish your opponents in the correct ways. The way you counter Soldier is, honestly, contest him. Soldier is very bad in most 1v1 situations. On close range, against a McCree, you're almost always going to lose against an equally skilled McCree. He has a flashbang, you have no lockdown. Even if you drop your healing pad and you fight him on close range, you're not gonna do more damage than he does. So you never want to take like a close range fight. A Genji is gonna be able to contest you. When a Genji jumps you, you kind of want to run. Like either if he's low already, you can drop your healing pad and fight him. But a good Genji, he's gonna contest you and he's gonna force you out. So you're always gonna want to get to a position where they can't shoot you, but you can. It's all about creating your own space. Yes, your team can be like very good and they can be able to create space for you. But in most cases, especially on ladder, you gotta create your own space. And once you have that space, you're gonna do amazing on Soldier. So let's say you found your high ground position, right? You're shooting away at the opponents, they can't really contest you. You're having a great time. Just shooting away, getting free damage in without being contested. And then, like, suddenly 5 seconds later, a D.Va and a monkey jump you and you immediately die. Like 2 seconds later, and you're like, yo, dude, I dropped the healing pad, I died immediately. It has to be my team's mistake, right? Like, my Mercy didn't heal me, or my tanks didn't peel for me. And that's the exact wrong approach to, like, looking at the character. You always want to predict where the opponents could be and what you could do to counteract them. So what I like to do is, if I go up against dive, and I'm on high ground and I'm having a great time, I'm always trying to keep track on where the opponent tanks are. And as soon as you kind of see them, and they see you, you get like 1 or 2 shots in on the monkey, and then you run. And what usually happens, even on Grandmaster level, is they're gonna dive you right after. Like, you want to show them where you are for like a second, and then you're gonna wanna change position right away. And what happens a lot of the time is they're gonna jump to where you've been, and you're gonna be completely, like, you're gonna be all over the map. You're gonna be somewhere else, and you're still gonna get free damage in, and now they've wasted that jump. Their tanks are kind of out of position, and you can still shoot away freely. And that's how you kind of carry the fights on Soldier. It's not about the aiming and the overall damage you're gonna do, it's also about, like, the movement you're gonna pull off, and how to counteract their movement. So you always want to be, like, mindful about where their tanks are or what could kill you. A McCree could flank you. A Reaper could teleport up to you. There could be a Hanzo climbing up. There could be a Widow in the background. So you always wanna, the number one thing, you wanna be safe, and you wanna know where they are. And that is just general game sense. And when you learn that general game sense on Soldier, it's gonna help you. In the long run, it's gonna help you on almost any character. Not only Soldier, but like it's gonna improve your overall gameplay. So that's a really good way to practice Overwatch overall, in my opinion. So we talked about the basic mechanics of the character, and what's important, what's not important, what is less important. What a lot of people like don't do at all is, like, when they have the position, right, and they can kind of like free fire, they just stand still or like move a tiny bit, right? Stand still, move a tiny bit, and just get the damage in. And then they go up against another like DPS, like a Tracer or a Genji, and they keep that same movement, and then they die. Because Soldier is not the hardest character to hit. What you want to abuse on Soldier is the overall movement. If you're going up against a McCree and he kind of like managed to sneak up on you and he's like really close to getting you stunned, so let's say he's like medium distance, like this distance, what you want to do is you want to fall back, right? And then he's gonna chase you, right? He probably hit like 1 or 2 shots on you, so you're probably like down to like half health. So you want to drop your healing pad, and then AD movement and crouch spamming is really, really important. And this is another thing you can practice. Keeping your aim kind of straight while not dying, right? It's easy to like aim at something while you're not moving, but aiming at something and still getting decent damage in while you have the most unpredictable movement is something that just comes with time. And is a really big part about like winning 1v1s against other DPS in general, which is gonna carry you to way higher ranks. And when you got that technique down, you can win almost any 1v1 against any other DPS you go up against. Keep in mind, if you're up against a Pharah or a Pharah Mercy, it's gonna be a different story, right? Like, once you go up in a 1v2, you kind of want to run. You don't want to stand your ground. Sometimes it's best to just let the fight go. You're a soldier, you're not a McCree. You can run, and not a lot of characters can chase you, right? A Tracer can chase you, but you can run around a corner, drop a healing pad, hold your ground, combo him down with the Helix melee combo. Against the McCree, always try to keep long distance on him, because he has damage fall off, you don't. So on long distance, you're gonna win. Now, the problem that comes in, especially for Season 10, is there's a lot of Hanzos and Widows running around, right? And Hanzo right now is a huge problem in general. Hanzo used to be like really good at contesting you like long range, kinda, but not really short range. And now with the buffs that Hanzo got, he's kinda like your arch enemy. Like, he's gonna win most 1v1 fights on long distance against you because his arrow speed got buffed, or his projectile speed. And on short distance, he has that beautiful thing called Storm Arrow, where he's just gonna spam a few arrows. And most of the time, if you're not like 10 times better, he's gonna win the 1v1 fight. Now, if you get into a situation where the Hanzo is already like close to you, and all you can do is fight, right? You can't run away from a Hanzo really. If there's like no corner, you can like immediately hide behind. What you want to do is, it's still projectile, right? So you don't want to do the normal AD spam, like against any other character, because he's just gonna sit straight, right? And wait for you to be at the center of his crosshair, a good Hanzo that is, and then he's gonna shoot the arrow and you're gonna die. So what you want to do against Hanzo is a different movement pattern. You kind of wanna hold A and D a bit longer, so you're not that predictable. So I'd say this is a Hanzo, and he's waiting for you to shoot. You want to do this, like suddenly you stand still on the left side, and you're not gonna peek mid again. So your movement pattern is gonna change depending on which character you go up against, and that is also a thing that comes with time. You can practice it against your friend, ask them to play Hanzo, and find out what the best movement pattern is for you specifically. But that's just a time thing, and it comes with time. Play a lot of comp, and you're gonna get used to it. Now, other basic mechanics of Soldier, what I did mention. So when you have the high ground, right, and you see someone, you see a squishy like a Zen, and you want to burst them down, what you want to like do is shoot the Helix Rocket before you shoot the bullets. Because if you shoot the bullets first, they're gonna react to you. They might like dodge your Helix Rocket, they might get instant heal, and it's gonna be hard to burst them down. So what you want to do is, on long distance, you want to wait, aim, shoot the rocket, and then shoot like a burst and kill them instantly. Instead of doing it the other way around, where you shoot the bullets, then they can run away, and then like you're gonna miss a rocket potentially. So that's a really, really important thing to keep in mind. On long distance, shoot the rocket first. In any other case, it's always good to hit a direct rocket hit instead of like something on the ground. A direct rocket hit does like, what is it? I don't want to lie. 120 damage. Whereas like if you shoot the rocket like right below their feet, you're only gonna do like 80. So if you get good with rockets, try to go for the direct hits, especially on something like a Tracer, where you can melee combo them. For a one-shot kill or a two-shot kill. Another thing that's important is never stop moving. You have your shift, and it has an infinite cooldown, so you can always use it. There's no reason for you to be in the same place all the time. If you can get damage in, stay there for like 2 magazines, but if you think you can get a better position, or if you think you can surprise the opponents with another position, always change your position. Move from high ground to high ground. Drop from high ground, get to low ground, get behind your opponents. Get behind the Rhine shield, just mix it up. Never be predictable. again, a lot of soldiers I see, they really look after the stats, their accuracy, their KD ratio, right? And I say the stats. Wait, can I swear on YouTube? Okay, so I say don't look at the stats. If you die, it happens sometimes. Of course you want to stay alive as a soldier, but if you can pull off a risky play and win your team the fight, it's way more valuable than, let's say, a really passive soldier just sits behind the shield at all times and just shoots the opponent's shield. Yes, you're a DPS, but basically all you're doing is breaking shield. And if you just want to break shield, there's better alternatives. You can pick a Roadhog to break shield. You can pick a Hanzo to break shield. You want to abuse your mobility, and you want to abuse your movement to get important kills, to get pickoffs, to get an intro pick. You're a DPS, dude. You're not a tank, and you're not like a passive damage dealer in the back. And a lot of people play Soldier like a passive damage dealer in the back. And while yes, Soldier does like the most damage over time on like medium to long distance, don't always go for the safe play. At least that's my opinion. That's how I like to play. Another thing people ask me frequently is talking about accuracy in general. Do I burst a lot or do I just spray a lot? I'm more of the type of guy that likes to spray. So on medium to close distance, I always hold my mouse down and spray as much as possible. But that comes down to personal preference, honestly. Some people are going to be better at bursting. Some people are going to be better at spraying. I like spraying on medium to short distance. On long distance, though, you always want to burst. So you want to do the 4 burst shot, and then you want to reset, wait a second, so you're going to get the biggest accuracy in. And that's just a thing you got to practice over time again. And that brings me to accuracy overall. People think, you know, people come to me and they're like, yo, I got this and this accuracy. Let's say like 40 or 42%. And I'm still not doing a lot, you know? I'm stuck in diamond. I have really good accuracy. I looked at my stats and I should be higher, right? And I say, no, accuracy doesn't matter. Sometimes I have games where I have really low accuracy and I'm still gonna do a lot for my team. And sometimes I have games where I have really high accuracy and I'm doing like almost nothing. Reason being is, if you go up against a lot of tanks, let's say they run like a 3 tank lineup, right? Let's say like in the current meta, they run Ryan, Zarya, and then maybe they have a Diva or a Roadhog. Yes, of course you're gonna have a high accuracy, right? You're gonna shoot the tanks a lot, and it's gonna be really easy for you to hit those shots. But that doesn't mean you're gonna have a great impact, right? If you just keep on shooting tanks the whole game, they might die once or twice, but overall, you're just giving them ult charge. You're getting your own ult charge up. But in general, you're not gonna get a lot of kills. And right, sometimes I have games where I play against like a lot of like flankers or like small targets. Let's say in the current meta, you go up against a Hanzo and a Tracer, or a Hanzo and a Genji. And of course your accuracy is gonna be lower, right? It's gonna be harder for you to hit a Hanzo on long distance or a Genji. So sometimes I have like a 35% accuracy game, but I kill the Hanzo when it matters, and I kill the Genji when it matters, and we still win the games because of that. So don't care about accuracy too much. If you play long enough, you're gonna know if you do well on the character, when you do well, and when you kind of want to swap off, or when you're having like a bad time. So don't look after stats too much. Like it's gonna feel natural to you if you do well. You're gonna realize. Don't look at the stats. Which brings me to Soldier's ultimate, Tactical Visor. It used to be very good ult, it used to be like amazing. You used to see like highlight clips all the time where like a person gets like 6 or 7 kills. Okay, 7 is not even possible. Where they used to get like 3 kills every fight, right? Because people didn't know how to deal with it. But I think in the current state of Overwatch, Visor is not that great of an ult. What makes Visor like decent right now is the rate of how fast you can get it. It's a tool that can force out other ults for the most part. So if you're gonna do a lot of damage, you're gonna build your ult really fast, and you're gonna be able to force out key ultimates of the opponent that you kind of want to have gone until you can like drop a big grab, etc, etc. So when people ask me, it's totally worth it if you push Visor and you force out a trance. That is 100% a worth trade. Zen's trance is definitely way more valuable as an ultimate right now compared to Visor, and it also builds slower if the soldier is doing his job correctly. So if you want to trade ults, Visor for almost anything is honestly worth it. And if you can get like 1 or 2 kills with a Visor, it's already, it's gonna win your team the team fight, or it's gonna like at least like favor you in the team fight. So don't try to go for like the 5-man kill, and don't be like sad when you like only get 1 or 2 picks with the Visor. As long as you force something out from them, it's worth it, honestly. The last thing I'm gonna go over today is what sense I use. A lot of people like come into chat and ask me what sense you use, what's good for soldier. And in general, you kind of want to have a low sense for soldier because you want to be really accurate with the tracking. But the sense should still be high enough so you can still do fast flick shots or fast movements. For example, against a Genji who's jumping above your head, you still want to be able to track kind of fast. What I use is 800 DPI and 5 in-game, which is like a middle ground between fast and slow. I know of people that use like a slower sense. I know of people that use a higher sense. I think the Fran is kind of equal with his sense. So find a sense. The most important part is find a sense you're comfortable with. You might be a player that really enjoys high sense or excels at high sense, or you might be a player that really likes a low sense, you know? It also depends on if you're aiming with the wrist or if you're aiming with your whole arm. So find a sense that suits you and stick with it. Once you found a sense that you really like, don't change it up too much because it's gonna play with your muscle memory. Your muscle memory is gonna get adjusted to the sense you use. So find a sense you like and stick to it. That's the most important part. Okay, so this already turned out way longer than I wanted it to be. There's definitely things that I didn't say yet. If you have any specific questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. And if you wanna know more, if you like those kinds of videos, let me know. And I'll do more in the future about more specific stuff. Definitely want to go into it more. Hope I could help you out. And I'll see you guys next time. If you want gameplay, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/metro. No, check me out. I'm live like almost every day. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you. Sorry, one.